Hello there, and thank you for joining me. I am very excited to be here in my humble abode. It's a little different than the kitchen we used to have, and one day it's going to be different from this, but I make it work, and I am happy to have you here in my home, in my kitchen. Today I am very excited to share with you my beef enchiladas. We are going over to our friend's house for dinner, and it is something that's really easy for me to make here and then bring with me over there and just finish it off over there, and then we have a yummy meal that was easy to make. I'm gonna bring along some side dishes. I've got some rice and some refried beans, and then I also have this Dole chopped kit. It's a salad, it's all in one, super easy, super yummy, so I'm gonna bring this with me too. The things that we're gonna use today, we need some ground beef. I like this ground beef. I also like Laura's natural ground beef. I don't know, it's no antibiotics, no hormones, so I like to kind of make sure that that's how we eat. Trader Joe's has some good ones too. And then I use this taco seasoning. This is the low sodium one, so there's not quite as much salt as the normal one. Salt's delicious. It just, I think that if we can cut it down and still keep things tasting good, then that's a great solution. I do also sometimes make my own taco seasoning, and hopefully in the future I will do a video about that. Then we need some shredded cheese. Of course, we need some flour tortillas, and we need some enchilada sauce. This is the Frontera red chili enchilada sauce. I love this. If you have a favorite enchilada sauce that you get at the store, I would love to hear what it is, because I'm always interested in trying new things, but for now, this is my go-to. And then we have the sliced olives. So I do love some sliced black olives on the top, in the cheese. It's just so yummy. My friend Lindsay, she does not like the sliced olives, so I will leave a few enchiladas with no sliced olives so that she is happy too. I'm gonna start by putting the rice on, make it easy just so it's working while I'm working on everything else. 2 cups of water. It says 1 tablespoon of butter or margarine if desired. I don't desire, so I just put in the water. 2 cups. You heat the water, butter, no, rice, yes, and seasoning mix to boiling. Now I'm just gonna let that get to a boil, and I threw away the box, so now I have to look at it and remember if it takes like 20 minutes. Simmer about 25 minutes without uncovering. Okay, one quick note about this rice. I do like this rice. It's farmhouse Mexican rice. It's very tasty, and you know why I like it is that some of these Mexican and Spanish rices you have to add stuff to. I appreciate it when it's all there in the package and all I have to do is add water. Because then inevitably what happens is I forget to buy the other thing, and then I go to make it and I'm like, oh my god, I needed some chopped tomatoes. So this is easy and kind of bulletproof. I'm gonna chop up some onion and put it in with the ground beef because that always kind of adds a little extra flavor. The challenging thing about this kitchen is just the lack of counter space. But I've been making it work. I try not to complain. And if we end up remodeling this house like our plan, I'm gonna have the most beautiful kitchen, and I'm gonna be very, very, very fortunate. I look forward to sharing the process of fixing up this house with you. I'm gonna use about half this onion. I'm gonna put the other half aside. I like to slice it pretty thin. I'm sure somebody would tell me that I'm not doing this right, but it seems to work for me, and I do go slow, so I'm gonna cut myself. And we're done. Ooh, yeah. This is the casserole dish I'm gonna use. I love this casserole dish. It was actually my husband's casserole dish. I like that it's yellow. It's very pretty. I do like to spray the bottom of the dish so the enchiladas don't stick with canola oil. I know that some people don't like canola oil spray. Let me know if there's something that you prefer. I have not found something that works quite as good, is as reliable. Now I'll just set this aside. Okay, so the ground beef is just about done cooking. It's all browned. This was pretty low fat meat, so there's not a lot of fat in there that I need to drain off. So I am going to just add in my taco seasoning. So now I bring this to a boil and I reduce the heat to let it simmer for 5 minutes. Another thing my husband brought into this marriage is this tortilla warmer. I'm glad that he has it because it's awesome to heat up tortillas and it makes it easier to make the enchiladas and like when I'm making breakfast burritos and stuff like that, to have a more pliable tortilla. I prefer to use this or do it in a skillet because the microwave to me makes the tortilla too soft. Yeah, so get yourself a tortilla warmer. I'm gonna get a glass bowl so I can put all of the meat and onions into the bowl. Usually I would do it straight out of the pan, but I'm gonna be fancy for you. Yummy! Beef enchilada filling. Let's see if I can make this look good for you guys. I'm gonna take a tortilla, putting on the tortilla warmer. So I just kind of flip it over a little bit. This first one always takes a little bit longer to do because the cast iron is heating up, and I try to have a paper towel in my hand because they do go a little warm. So we're gonna do our first one, putting the second one on. It's a little warm on my hand, but that's okay. I'm gonna take myself a little bit of cheese. Okay, it doesn't matter if it falls into there because it's all good. Let's see how this works. Put a little spoonful of the taco. Put a spoonful of the enchilada filling of the beef. Doing a really great job here. Can you see it? You can see it, right? So then you kind of just tuck it and roll it. This one was a little full. And then I'm gonna set it over here. I never said I was Martha Stewart or that I was like, you know, neat, because I'm not. I do use the slotted spoon because if there is some extra liquid, it just makes it a lot easier so that these don't get too sloppy and you get mostly the meat in here. I also try to make it so that this one now is, like the little end of it is sticking up over this one so that then when you go to take them out, when you slide the spatula underneath, you come from this direction by accident because you didn't see that, and it's just, they just kind of fall apart and they don't come out and look as nice on the plate. Again, not Martha Stewart, but I do like my enchiladas to stay intact. I've got enough, just enough to make one more. That is the trickiest part, is not overfilling them. So, you know, don't overfill them so they spill everywhere, but also don't overfill them. That was like the tiniest tortilla. Look at it. All the other ones were nice and long, and that one's the shorty. The key is to make sure that you don't use too much of the filling, and then you don't have enough enchiladas. So usually when I'm doing a dinner for 4 people, I will, and there's men involved, I will actually make 2 batches of this, so I will end up with double the amount. Tonight, there are men involved, but one man, he's doing Whole30, so he's not eating the enchiladas. So I felt safe with just going with one pan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 for Bryce, 2 for Lindsay, 2 for Mandy, but usually Mandy and Lindsay only eat 1. So even if Paul decided that he wasn't going to do Whole30, but I'm sure he's going to because he has follow through, I'd have enough for him. But yeah, I think he's going to be good. And then we'll have a little bit of leftovers, which who doesn't love leftover enchiladas? So that's the 6 of them. Then I got my Frontera enchilada sauce. Please, if you have some enchilada sauces that you like that you can get, you know, at the store, share. Let me know. I would love to hear it. That is not enough cheese to put on the top, so I'm gonna get a little more cheese. Did I say this was not a low-calorie meal? So you just eat less. and I am going to leave these two over here olive free. My husband and I like black olives, so I'm going to use this entire can on just these 4. But if I was making this for other people, I would not be quite, I would not put as many on there because I don't know about people and their enjoyment of black olives. So that's it. I did it. Ta-da! So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover it with tin foil. I'm going to write on it 400 degrees for 15 minutes, so I remember that I just need to pop it in the oven at 400 for 15 minutes, and then it'll be ready. And it's all good to go for later on tonight. Here is a picture of what it looked like when I took it out of the oven at Lindsay and Paul's house. And here is a picture of us enjoying our meal with Lindsay and Paul not eating it. But he's awesome, and I totally support him in his Whole30 challenge. So now the only other thing that's left for me is I'm going to finish up. I'm going to make the rice. I already made the rice. I'm going to make some beans. And I did forget to mention that I use soft taco size tortillas. Burrito size would be a really big enchilada, and if you got some hungry folks, use that size, but I think that this makes a fantastic size enchilada. So there you go. I have my enchiladas ready to go. I have my refried beans that I just took out of the can and I put them in a pot, very simple and easy, and my rice in my other container. So this goes with me. Usually I try to prepare this, like within a half an hour of going over there, so that then I don't have to reheat this stuff. And then this is just all ready to go in the oven. No big deal. I started bringing dinner over to Lindsay and Paul's house when their second child was born, which now he's 8. But it was just much easier for them to not have to pack the kids up and bring them over. And of course, we don't want them to have to get a sitter every time we want to hang out. So we just kind of made a deal where sometimes I bring the whole meal over, sometimes Lindsay does the whole meal, and sometimes we kind of like each take a piece of it and collaborate, and then it's magic. But it's a really great way to hang out with friends. I don't know, it makes life easy. So, and I enjoy cooking. So there you go. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a super duper awesome day. And subscribe to my channel, and look forward to another video soon. Thanks so much. Bye.